Welcome to another week, another show of Hawkeyed with me, Dave O'Hara. Here we are, Carver Hawkeye Arena, as you can see, in the Big Ten Conference Room with our buddy Payton Sandfort. Payton joined us last 2 years. Now he's joining us again this year after practice and before the Saturday game at Wells Fargo against Florida A&M. But a lot of big games this past week we're going to talk to Payton about. And then 2 segments with Payton for this show, and then we'll close out the show with his younger brother, Pryce Sandfort, joining us. And we record this on Thursday afternoon, December 14th. So, Payton, as always, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again.
Dave. Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So, Payton, let's get into this. We talked a little bit about this off camera. Let's bring it on camera. It's been a tough season so far. You've been very gracious with your time and open to discuss with us last year, too. You guys went through kind of a tough stretch last year. So with you now being the team leader, and congratulations, he was our 6th Man of the Year award winner in the Big Ten last year. Great stuff.
Thank you.
But you're very welcome. Well-deserved and hard-earned by you. But let's talk a little bit about the leadership that you've taken on this team, along with, as I mentioned, Tony Perkins, and even a guy like Ben Crickey, even though he's just coming in as a transfer, he's a veteran guy. So let's talk about that, how you're trying to write the course. You said you had a good week of practice when you came in here. You told me you had a good week of practice. Take us through that a little bit, if you would, please.
Yeah, it's tough. You play 3 games like that in a week that are back to back to back, and like the football team, they have a bad week, they lose 1 game. We had, unfortunately, 3 really tough games against 3 really good opponents who brought it and played well, and we just didn't match the energy or urgency that we kind of needed. But this week in practice, I think we've got a big emphasis on just competing again and being in position to win games. And I think you're going to see just a more, hopefully, just more connected and better team going forward. And obviously we have some good chances coming up, and starting on Saturday, we're all 100% focused on that right now, and a good team coming in who's playing really good basketball right now. So we got to be ready to go, which there's no doubt in my mind that we will.
No doubt indeed, and I smile because this is old home week for Payton and Pryce and some of the guys on the team. Yeah. You spent a lot of time at the Wells Fargo Arena and state tournaments for winning for Hawkeyed, and then in Pryce's case, Hawkeyed Northwest, but a lot of tournament games there. And it's a men's and women's doubleheader. It's sold out. You guys are first, and then Bluder's Bunch plays after you guys. 2 different opponents, but you guys with Florida A&M, and you mentioned a good opponent. And I think the thing I look at, Payton, is I want to circle back to you about team leadership. You talked about last year having a team meeting and some of your upperclassmen. How does that conversation go? And I'm sure it's very fiery, and I know you guys have had some meetings in the locker room, either at halftime and post-game. Coach Fran McCaffrey has said you guys have really taken the leadership role and talked to some guys. Without saying too much, kind of give us a little insight as to what that conversation is like.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of young guys, a lot of guys who are kind of new to this program, so we put a huge emphasis that we've struggled in that week mightily in the past. My freshman year, we ended up winning the Big Ten, but we went 0-3 that week with 3 very similar losses, and it doesn't mean the season's over. I mean, we still have 21 regular season games left and a ton of time to right the ship. And in high school, you never really lose 3 games in a row, maybe not 3 games in a season. So we have to kind of teach these new guys it's not the end of the world, that there's still a lot of games to be played, and we just have to keep our confidence and our dauber up, because I think at Michigan there was just some times that we were out there playing hard, but there was just kind of a lack of confidence shooting the ball or trying to make plays. So we need to keep that, because we have a lot of really good players and guys that I really believe in, that Coach believes in. So we got a lot of basketball in front of us and a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah, you've got a group of winners from high school and now here at Iowa. When you talk about Brock Harding and Owen Freeman and your brother, and there's a lot of winning coming in, young Laje Dembele. But let's you and I talk a little bit about some of the guys you have right now, returners. Josh Dix from last year, Desante Bowen, Tony Perkins, Ben Crickey, the former Missouri Valley Player of the Year, and he has been as advertised. The guy is an offensive machine. And so let's talk a little bit. Patrick McCaffrey, of course, coming back, yourself. So let's talk about that core of 6 guys returning, and then you bring in the 4 new guys, as I mentioned, with Pryce Sandfort and your brother and younger brother, and Owen Freeman, Brock Harding, and, of course, Laje Dembele. Let's talk. And not to forget, and Coach Fran has brought this up a bunch, about Evan Bronze, and I don't want to forget him. Yeah. You got 11, 12 deep. That's pretty strong. Is there enough basketballs? Is there enough time to get everybody in? You've got a lot of talented guys, and Evan and Patrick are used to playing at the Well and winning state tournaments at Iowa City West. So let's talk about some of the melding with these returners, but also, even though he's a veteran, a fifth-year senior, but Ben Cricky, new to the program. Let's talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good core coming back, and I think so far we've handled it okay. I mean, we need to probably mesh together a little better, but obviously there is a lot of new guys who are getting used to playing those physical Big Ten games where you're not going to get a lot of foul calls. So it's just something kind of that you have to get used to, and we have to kind of keep talking them through it. And there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be ready by the time that we do play Wisconsin again. But in the meantime, I think there's a lot of time for us to get better. And it's hard bringing in that many freshmen and new guys who aren't really familiar with the program and run the motion offense. And we're continuing to get better at it every day. It's always going to be a work in progress, kind of how it has been my whole career here. But if we can just continue to improve and play for each other, then it's going to work out.
Yeah, I think that is so well stated, because when you've got new parts like that, and we've seen it the last couple years, you nailed it perfectly a couple sentences back when you talked about Keegan Murray having his year, and then Chris Murray, and you guys were able to write the course. I'll never forget when we had Chris Murray on this show a couple Decembers ago, and he said, yeah, we're going to win the Big Ten. Well, you won the Big Ten tournament, and I mean, I did not see that coming. So this is a good message for the young guys to go, hey, we don't have to look far back to see that we can write the course. And I think it's so important you mention that. Plus, these young guys are going to see what it's like, life is like on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You mentioned Wisconsin, Mackey Arena, Purdue. Those aren't easy places to play.
Absolutely not. And I think they got a very good introduction to that going to Purdue. And, we've played in 3 pretty tough environments to start, which is kind of what you sign up for playing here, and something that everybody should be able to get up for. So I think that was a good experience for everybody, and be ready to go the next time they go on the road.
That's fantastic. Well, I really appreciate your insights, and it's got to be tough to talk about it and bring it out to the public like this. So can't thank you enough for honoring your commitment to be on the show, but to take us inside a little bit. And I don't want to give too much information out there, but I really do appreciate you taking us inside. So we got another segment with you. So you're good so far, so good?
Sounds good. Yeah,
all right, awesome. Good. He is Payton Sandfort, folks, shooting star for the Iowa Hawkeyes, junior this year, Big Ten player, 6th man of the year last year. So now in that starting lineup and leading the Iowa Hawkeyes. So looking forward to talking to Payton for one more segment, and then bringing his younger brother, Pryce Sandfort, on to join us for the closing segment. So back with more Payton Sandfort and then Payton and Pryce Sandfort. We'll be back with more Hawkeyed. I'm Dave O'Hara in just a few moments.
To have a strong finish, you need an excellent start. It's true on the track and also in the field. That's why Mershman Seeds works tirelessly to deliver cutting-edge technology year after year. Introducing Starting Line, Mershman Seeds' latest advancement in seed treatment, now providing added protection from white mold and sudden death syndrome all season. Ask for Starting Line seed treatment from Mershman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeyed with me, Dave O'Hara. Here's our buddy Payton Sandfort. It was so good the first segment, you decided to stay again, and you're going to stay a third segment with your brother Pryce. So here we go. We got through the tough part talking about this year, but we're going to turn that corner. So stand-up guy that you are, thanks so much. Again, as you know, folks, Payton Sandfort, shooting star for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Men's basketball team, was last year's 6th Man of the Year award winner in the Big Ten. So with your brother Pryce coming in now, so I'll ask you the next question. His first game out. You're the older brother. You're the trailblazer here. You're the older brother to Pryce. You're the older brother to Piper. Not saying there's a lot of pressure on you yourself to do well, but you also want your younger siblings to do well. How was that for you the first time running up and down, or you're just so used to playing in high school with him? He was 2 years behind you. Now he's 2 years, you're a junior. He's a freshman at Iowa. Were you nervous at all for Pryce to do well his first time out, or was he more nervous, do you think?
I think I was really excited for him, the opportunity. I wouldn't say I was really all that nervous. I thought he was going to do well, which he did. And I was definitely a lot more nervous for his high school games last year when I was out of control.
Really?
I just had to watch him, but I haven't. Yeah, I think in college I haven't been too nervous. When we're on the same team, I'm not too nervous. But when I'm just watching from afar, I think that's when the nerves come in.
You'll hear former professional athletes say that, saying, "Hey, playing the game is no big deal. Watching my kids play it, I have no control."
Yeah.
You're right. That would make it a little more nerve-wracking, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't mean to make you conscious of that now, but here we are. Yeah. So, but you're right. Pryce did come out well that first game, and going to get his shot back and get his game going, as you mentioned, a lot of the guys. So as we go back, reiterate for us a little bit, if you will, and Pryce and I will talk about this too, but your team in high school, and we'll talk to Pryce about having changed from going from Hawkeyed, and then I think it was his first 2 years at Hawkeyed, and had your last two, then he had to go to Hawkeyed Northwest. Yeah. Across the street, I guess, not even across town, the new high school. So for you, I want people to understand, the viewers that don't know this, or it's a good reminder. the talent you had in practice that is now in college basketball with Omaha Balloon out at Iowa State, but also you had obviously Tucker DeVries just doing so well at Drake, and you, of course, and Pryce. And you were telling me in practice, you said, man, it was just, you got the starting five against the others. Kind of reminds me of Doug McDermott being at Ames High School with Harrison Barnes back in the day. And Dougie Fresh couldn't even get in the starting lineup. He was the sixth man until his junior year. So you talk about a talented group you had in high school, and most of those guys have gone on to do very well in college.
Yeah, I think obviously we have all those guys that are very successful in college. We had Cade Kelderman also, who plays for Iowa State.
That's right.
And played with Pryce for a while. But the depth we had on our bench was, I mean, our bench five was probably one of the best teams in the state by themselves, and
True.
they never get recognized for it. But I mean, those guys, we had unreal shooters, we had size, we had quickness, and some guys that never even got in the game would have been phenomenal players elsewhere in Iowa high school basketball. So it was a really fun environment. It was the COVID year, unfortunately, so we didn't get to gel like normal and play summer games. We didn't have our first practice and time playing together till I think it was early December, which is rare. Didn't have our first game till after Christmas, so I think we could have. I don't know if we would have lost if we had time to gel, but I mean, it was a lot of fun. And the good thing about the COVID was we played a lot of like inter squad scrimmages where we'd like split up the lineups, and there was a lot of competitiveness, and they were good games for sure. I think our high school coach was just sitting back enjoying watching some good basketball.
Roll the basketballs out and say, go get them, fellas. I knew I'd forget somebody. Calderman, I mean, I mentioned so many names there. It's just the wealth of talent. And you mentioned that about bringing that then to Iowa. And, we talk about Brock Harding and Owen Freeman as well with that type of success in high school. And so talk about the recruiting process for you. I know in Pryce's case, we talked a little bit off the air about it. But for you, Tucker goes to Drake and his dad is there. And you could have gone there and kept that going. Were you always going to be, you and I have talked about this, but again, for those that don't remember our conversation from the last couple of years, talk about your recruiting process again. And were you always a Hawkeye, or did you look at some of those schools like, may not be too bad to play at Drake with Tucker and his dad? What were your thoughts about that as you were recruiting?
It was really hard with that Drake situation because Darren's a man and a coach that I really respected. And I always considered Tucker like one of my best friends. So it was very hard. I think the day before I called Darren and told him that I was going to go to Iowa, I was just over in there like hanging out in the pool playing video games in his basement, and we were all of us were having pizza. So it was kind of a tough situation, but he handled it incredibly well. And I mean, we're still really good friends to this day. Whenever I have a chance, I'll go back and watch Drake. And but besides that, I had Utah that I took an official visit to, and that was my only official visit. Came here for one football game, so I exercised some other options, but didn't really get much of a chance to just because of COVID. So at the end of my junior year, where we lost in the state championship the day that they said no more fans, and it was a weird experience because we're playing Ankeny Centennial, who was ranked number 1 in the semis, and it's a pretty full arena on March 12th, and we win, and everyone's going crazy, and then the next day they say there's no fans, and then they say we're probably not going to play the game. So it was a really tough situation, and then we came out and didn't play well, and to this day I think if we would have had it normal we would have won. But and then after that, no AAU my junior year, which is where most of the recruiting happened. So I was gonna. I mean, it was pretty set in my mind I was going to come to Iowa, but I really wanted to take a visit, so I kept kind of delaying and trying to wait until I could go there and tell them in person, because that's something I kind of wanted to do, but didn't really get an opportunity for it. So eventually they just kept shutting it down. I'm like, you know what, let's just get it over with.
What is your future? Talk to us a little bit about some of the opportunities you've had and what your feelings are about NIL, how it's working for you and how you think it's working in college athletics right now.
Yeah, in college athletics it's just kind of a disaster, and you can kind of see that in football. Obviously we probably deserve to get paid, but kind of the way that the money's being used is, you could say, immoral, and just a lot of kind of dirty things going on. But that's the way it is. And fortunately for me, I've had a lot of good opportunities to meet with people and to do a lot of things. And obviously getting the money is cool, but I think the opportunity to connect with the business world is much more important, because it's not like the money that I'm making here is setting me for life or anything. It's just kind of walking around money and stuff that helps me get dinner at night. But meeting different business leaders in the Iowa City community and the Des Moines community and getting to connect with them and kind of figure out my own financial situation and kind of have to plan and set money aside. I think that's been good, and it'll help me a lot later in life. And it's been it's been a good opportunity here, and I think the way that we do it here is better than pretty much anywhere else in the country.
Payton, this is it for you and me together. Now we're going to close out the show. Are you ready? You had some stuff last year you told me for your younger brother, so I'm looking forward to this. I think the viewers, we'll see. Has that changed? So as Pryce is sitting over here in the wings, so it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. I'm glad I'm not sitting in the middle. I'm going to leave it like this and bring in Pryce on the end here. So, but Payton, great to talk to you individually,
thanks,
and I'll look. Truly my pleasure. You're welcome. So we'll be back with more, and thanks again to our good buddy Payton Sandfort. I'm Dave O'Hara with Hawkeyed. We'll be back with more Payton and Pryce Sandfort to close out the show with Hawkeyed in just a few moments.
Who do you trust to produce the best yield? A seed company that's chasing technology or a seed company that's writing a book on it? Mershman Seeds is a leader in technology. We're independent and family owned. Our sister company, MS Technologies, provides access to world-class traits and genetics. And our starting line seed treatment is second to none. Who can you trust with your yields? Mershman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeyed with me, Dave O'Hara, and Payton Sandfort and Pryce Sandfort. Double blessed today. Double the pleasure, double the fun. Could be double trouble, though. We're going to see. We got a little family feud. I'm kidding. So I'm going to just jump right into it. Who has the better shot? You knew that was coming first off. As Pryce looks down and shakes, so I'm going to go to Pryce first. I'm going to let the older brother follow up. So this is to you, Pryce. Who's got the better? The Sandfort brothers shooting is the claim to fame. Who's got the better shot, Pryce?
Obviously, I'm always going to say myself. It doesn't look like it right now, I know, but my numbers in high school, I'm going to get it back, and I'm always going to say myself.
I love it. I love the confidence. Payton is actually biting, if we could hone in, biting his lower lip. So, all right, older brother, who's the better shooter?
I think it's me, and I think that's been proven over time. That's all I got, period. He's probably the second best shooter.
I love this because it's, we're in Iowa. It's caucus season. It's election time, though. Both guys made their campaign speech. I love it. Nothing more to say. That is great. We're just going to go down the list. Passing is very important, as you both know. Now, this time, we're going to let the young man think about it. Who's the better passer, older brother?
I think we're both really good passers, and that's something that we don't get a ton of credit for, but that's something that has been ingrained to us and is passing the ball, but me.
Okay, there you go. I like the honesty there. Me was the answer. Pryce, he gave us a little filibuster leading into that. So is Payton right? Is it him, or who's the better passer?
I think it's myself. I had a lot of experience in high school playing on the ball. Got to learn a lot of point guard skills. So passing came with that. So I think it's pretty obvious today.
I love it. You both have talked about how NIL has gotten you out in the business community. All the caucuses going on in Iowa. Here's guys right here could work for your campaign depending which side you go. I love the lobbying, you guys. This is fantastic. Okay, well, for offensive players, we covered offense. So now there is offensive rebounding. We're going to go to offense and then defense. I've kind of tipped my hand to you. So start with the younger guy again first with Pryce. Who's the better rebounder?
Honestly, I'll give this one to Payton. I'm going to give credit when credit is due. He's really worked on it, and I think he's proven over his Iowa career that he's got it. It's something I'm working on, and I'm not saying I'm a bad rebounder.
Sure.
It's something I'm going to keep working on, but he's really good at it. I'll give him that.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You're not going. I'm not going to get in the way. Why? Why do you agree with that? Why have you? And to his point, you really haven't. You and I didn't talk much about that during your segments. That has really, and you've gotten, Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year award, but everybody's talking about you this year with rebounding and leading the team. Why?
Yeah, it's kind of just a mindset, and there is some skill to it, and this is a skill that Pryce has, this is a skill that I have, but we would just go in the gym and have our grandpa shoot, and we would just read where the ball's going off from different angles. So I'm not the most athletic guy in the world. He's not either. So we have to kind of have that advantage of knowing where the ball's going to be and knowing where it's going to go. And then from there, it's just kind of the willingness to go get it and get your hands dirty. And I've struggled with it a little bit over the last couple games, and I've been in there, but just haven't quite won them. So I got to get back to doing that consistently. But he's a pretty good rebounder too. I mean, he averaged over 10 in high school, which is not easy to do. So.
Yeah. I love that off camera we talked about Grandpa Bo, and I've mentioned him on camera too, and I like what you said. You're like, oh, Grandpa Bo will get on you. So you guys had to rebound. Oh, now we go to defense, because offensive players will say, yeah, it's me. All right, we're going to start with the senior here, the junior, but the senior brothers of the older brother of the Sandforts here. Who's the better defensive player?
You know, I am I'm getting a lot better. I think in high school I didn't really have to guard. I would just kind of get in the way and block shots, but you can't really do that at this level. And honestly, when I was a junior in high school, we would give our toughest assignment to Pryce, so I might have to give this one to him just because, you know, I mean, yeah, in high school I didn't want to guard very much. I just wanted to shoot the ball and rebound. So it's something that I continue to work on every day and improve. And I've gotten, like, I think substantially better since my freshman year here at Iowa. But you know, he's more.
Well, again, you're in your junior year here at Iowa, but the senior brother to the two brothers, and you're a freshman. So, is he right, Pryce? Are you the better defender?
He is correct. Yes.
Why? Why would you say that?
Like he said, I starting with my freshman year in high school, you know, like he said, I'd get the hardest assignments, and it's always something I've kind of taken pride in. But this year, I still don't think I've been very good. I think I need to be a lot better, and it's a big jump. You know, guys are a lot quicker. I'm guarding a lot quicker wings than I did in high school. I guarded the big man in high school. I just sit in the middle of the paint and block people. So, you know, just keep working on it. Coaches are working on it with me. But it's something I really think about and take pride in. So I'll get there.
Well, and I was going to get into and thank you both for your candor. I was going to get into who's the better brother and who's mom and dad's favorite. And I won't do that to you because we spent enough time with the head-to-head here. But talk to me then, as we talked during your show, both of your shows separately. What was it like to have your younger brother here? So you mentioned last year, hey, you're going to teach him things, you're going to bring him in. So, you know, Pryce has said you're a good older brother, you're a trailblazer, you let him down the path being the older brother. But is it tougher sometimes bringing your younger brother in and being the trailblazer, or has it just been nothing but roses?
Well, obviously it hasn't been nothing but roses, but I think there's a lot of good and there's some bad that comes with it. But I would say the good definitely outweighs the bad. And you know, I'm really
What's
glad that
one
he's here.
somewhat bad thing? I don't want to get negative, but if there was one tough thing, what would be the tough thing about being the older or having your younger brother here?
I would say maybe subbing him out. I don't like doing that very much. When coach tells me to get Pryce, I'm like, oh, dang it. Like, I wanted to play together. But
okay.
Yeah, I think I'd rather he stay on the floor with me, but you know, I also want to go in the game, so I'm not going to say no.
Self-preservation is always the key, Payton. Come on now. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair answer. So I'm going to now turn it to you with your senior or your older brother, the senior Sandfort here, junior year, freshman year. Is it easier having a brother blazing a trail for you, or would you prefer maybe, hey, just you have your own identity and you be yourself? What do you prefer?
Well, obviously I chose to be here with him, so I prefer to play with him, but there's some negatives, I think, towards me, trying to live up to what he's done, and people comparing me to him, and you know, asking if I'm going to be as good as him. It's tough, and it can wear on the mind a little bit. But like I said, just gotta stay in your own mind and be who you are. But obviously, having him as a leader for me, coming in, learning a lot of new things, something that not everybody gets, very few get. So very thankful for that, and yeah.
So then we'll go off the basketball floor, knowing brothers as I do. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. I had 3 older brothers, 3 older sisters. A little bit of roughhousing going on here and there in the Sandfort house. So who's the tougher? Who's the better wrestler? Who's the better fighter? I'm going to start with the young man first, with Pryce.
Growing up, it was always me. I could take some big hits. He used to be a lot bigger than me, so I had to take some hits, but I always fought back and showed my toughness there.
Payton, is that true? You picked on your younger brother?
Yeah, I sent him to the hospital once, so I think that automatically qualifies me as
Yes,
the better.
let's get into that story.
Fighter.
How did you send him to the hospital?
I think I hit him so hard that he hit the corner and split his ear open.
We were having a pillow fight. A pillow fight.
Well, yeah, you sent your younger brother to the hospital
I
with
don't
a
remember-
pillow
I don't
fight.
remember the
What, did you have rocks in the pillowcase? What
I
happened?
think I just had strong arms.
All right, Pryce, continue with the story. Yes, please.
Pillow fight. So, yeah, he just hit me pretty hard. I fell down. I tear my ear open on the table. So
That qualifies me for the better.
I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna watch myself around you, Payton. I tell you.
didn't shed a tear though. That was the top.
Okay. So here we go. Mark tape on that, Michael. Well, we got it done. He did not shed a tear. Folks, I want you to know the time that these two both gave to the programs the last couple of weeks, this program, the past two programs, I want to thank them both so much. Payton, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pryce, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Both are very welcome. Payton Sandfort, Pryce Sandfort, junior shooting star here at Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball, freshman shooting star here at Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball. So for the brothered Sandfort, I'm Dave O'Hara with Hawkeye. Thanks again to my production partner, Michael Merrick, and of course, James Allen, SID for the Iowa Hawkeye men's basketball team. For all the aforementioned folks, that's all from us at Hawkeye. Thanks to all of you. And as always, thanks for staying tuned at the end of the program for these rolling credits to give our advertisers and sponsors the attention and credit they so richly deserve. And as always, to our aforementioned guests and to you, the viewers. That's all from us at Hawkeye. Thanks to all of you.